actually in the screen?
Yep, you're right in the bullseye middle. And it's recording. Don't worry.
Come on.
Did you not smile when you were doing?
Oh, I'm not ready to shoot yet. Hi there everyone, Frontier Geek back at you again here, and this is a project that I've been waiting a little while to get started with. If you recall, a while back I added some lighting in the bed of the truck underneath the rails, and so this is actually a segment of that lighting, and what I needed to do here was actually shorten these up because they were hanging all over the place. They were too long, but I guess long's probably better than short, right? And what's really neat about these, and I think I need to mention, I believe it was shout out to, I think Eric, if I recall correctly, had said that sometimes these can be modified, and indeed he was correct. If you look down here, I'll try to get, hopefully this stays clear in the view. You get down in here, you see right here where my thumb is, there's a little tiny pair of scissors. And that tiny pair of scissors shows you that you can actually cut on this plastic, and this is where you're going to rejoin your wiring. So these are two little pads of copper, which is exactly where the factory had made their attachments. If I zoom in over here, you see the wires. So I just clipped that off. They even very nicely labeled them positive and negative for you, so you don't even have to guess how to put this back together. So what you do here is basically just with a very sharp knife of some sort. I used a razor blade and trimmed around this and removed the housing here, which is the outer sheathing that protects it, the coat, right? And then here is your circuit board, which is very thin, so you do need to be somewhat careful with working with this. And these little yellow things here are actually the white LEDs. Yes, they look yellow, but they glow white. And so on every one of these, you can see every 3 LEDs, and then there's another copper, so you can shorten it at any of these copper points. So we come back over here, you'll see that I've already cut this, and I went ahead and soldered my wires back on, which was a little bit of a chore. They really didn't want to stick great to this copper. I think it may have had possibly some kind of, I don't know, something left over from the manufacturing process, a little bit of silicone or some kind of flux or something was going on there. So I basically just took the leftover piece that I'd cut off on the body here. Let me see if I can rotate that. Yeah, you can see where that's sliced, right? Just kind of tag that back on there. And then over the top of this, I'm going to put this heat shrink tubing, which I'm just going to take and move down through here. And when the heat shrink shrinks down, which is what it does, it will go ahead and lock all that in place and make that nice and watertight, so I don't get corrosion up inside of the system there. And so I had to do both ends. So here's the other end that I haven't soldered yet, so I'll show you what it looks like. Hopefully this comes into focus. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, it's really bright sunlight out here too, so that might be bugging the camera. But anyway, you can see here these two pads that I've cleaned that I haven't soldered yet. So I'm just going to repeat the procedure over here on this end. Not really rocket science. It's pretty simple. It's a red and a black. I mean, if you can follow color codes, you can do this project. It's not real super difficult, but you know, just like I said, a couple of things to watch for. The copper being a little bit dirty, being one of them that you'll want to deal with correctly. Make sure that that's cleaned up well, and after that, just make sure that you close everything up and waterproof it, and it should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and we'll call it a day. I have some leftover 3M adhesive tape. This, as you can see here, has tape on the back that it came with from the factory, but since I had to pull this off to work with it, it's lost its adhesion now, the glue. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a new piece of 3M over the top of that and stick that back in place underneath the rail, and that will be all done for today. So until next time, have a great time. Go out and take her out and get her muddy. Like I've been saying for, what, over a year, right? Big world out there waiting. Go out and find them. Till next time.